Hey everyone, this is Dan B with Brian Labs, and I would like to show you a tool that we have built called Cosmos Upgrades. So Cosmos Upgrades solves the challenge of tracking scheduled upgrades in the Cosmos by centralizing the details from the chain registry. So what does this mean? There's this repository out there called the chain registry. 994 people have contributed to it, so very decentralized. Um, it defines chains. So let's take Akash, for example. Inside of each chain, there's a lot of cool information that is provided. So if we look for like RPCs, so there's companies out there like EcoStake, Lavender 5, Polkachu, who are hosting RPCs that anyone can query for chain information. So we take advantage of this by rating the Go app called Cosmos Upgrades. It's open source here on GitHub. And what this Go application does is it goes to the chain registry. It looks for all these RPCs for every single chain, tries to find a healthy RPC that's working, so it tests them all out, and then it asks these RPCs two questions. The first question it asks is, are there any proposals for a software upgrade currently happening? And it will share those details. And the second question that it asks is there a software upgrade plan that has already passed and is scheduled? Now, we take all of those responses from asking every single chain those two questions, and we aggregate them into one response with just all of the information about the state of all of Cosmos upgrades. And we do this in an API. So I'm going to show you really quickly what this looks like. So if we do a curl and I say, hey, I want to ask Cosmos upgrades for information about all mainnets. I press enter here. You can see it goes through every chain. So we got Zeta chain. We know there's no upgrade on Zeta chain. So there's a lot of different chains in here. You'll also notice that sometimes if there's not RPCs defined, we'll just say, hey, there's no RPCs for this server. So you can remove false positives. But what we can do instead is we can do this thing where we still ask the API for information about the chains, but we say, hey, I want to use JQ to only tell me ones that have upgrades. So now when I run that command, I can see there's 1, 2, 3 chains in the entire chain registry that have upgrades. Impact Hub, Mantra, and Terra. For each one of these chains, we output who reported the data, so which healthy RPC server had this information, what block height that server was at when it provided the information. We tell it whether it's a current upgrade plan or an active upgrade proposal, so active upgrade proposals means they're not finalized yet. Plans have been finalized and they're definitely going to happen. Active upgrade proposals might happen depending on how people vote. We also determine the block height, any kind of binaries you need to download, the upgrade name, the software version that you need to install. So all this information is in here. So at any point, you can define which chains you care about and then filter even further to get only the chains you care about. Or you can just say, I want to see all the chain upgrades. All right, so that's where this code is at today. And that's the Cosmos upgrades here. So we are seeking to raise some funds through Dora Hacks Round 6 for this software. And what we plan to do with these funds is we want to make this a web UI. So instead of having to open up a terminal and type in these commands to see which chain upgrades there are, we would like to create a website that you can have an account on, you can log into, you can say which chains you care about, you can say how you like to be notified, whether you want it to go into Slack, email, SMS, Discord, Telegram, Signal, anything that has a webhook kind of formation is possible. And then you will get notified whenever there's an upgrade happening. If you have any questions about how this works, you can contact me at Twitter. I'll bring up my socials real quick so you can see. It's Dan Bryan 80. Or you can always just post an issue in Cosmos Upgrades if you have a question about how the software works. I hope you enjoy this and thank you very much for considering supporting this. Appreciate it.